Well, welcome everyone. We are so excited. I am here in place of Stephanie just for the short while. She is going to jump on. She had a previous engagement. And so we're so excited again to have our second week with Ryan. And last week, of course, we learned about dreams and the success cycle. And I think this week it's about goals. Is that right, Ryan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy,
So
right?
so excited about that. So
Background
yeah,
too.
if you guys can all just mute your, yeah, there we go. Mute your phone. That would be great. And we're just going to turn it over to you, Ryan, and get started.
Perfect. Will you do me a favor while we're kicking off
Yeah.
too, Tammy? If you'll click on my name on the side and just either allow me to share a screen. So if you click on the participants,
Mhm.
and then if you click on my name, you should be able to there's a button that'll click more, and then you can give me so that I can share a screen. So while she's doing that, hopefully all of you guys are doing amazing. Hope your week was fantastic. So tonight we're going to be a little bit more interactive, if that's okay. I started getting a weird cough last week, and then actually tested for COVID over the weekend positive. So crazy. I thought it would never happen to me, but it did. So, but I'm feeling good. I feel good. So if my voice is going a little bit, we're gonna be a little bit more interactive tonight, if that's okay with all of you guys. Can I get a nod? Yes, awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So tonight, like we said, we're gonna do a little bit of we're gonna talk about goals, if that's okay with you guys. But I wanted to do a little bit of a recap, and I'm just gonna open up the chat box here really quickly as well. And if you guys want to speak up, please. We're all interactive. We're all family here, right? We all are rooting each other on and wanting everybody to accomplish their dreams and goals. So I wanted to do just a really quick recap if we could. Thank you so much for that, Bonnie. I appreciate it. Wouldn't miss tonight for nothing because I love you guys and so excited to be here. So I wanted to do just a little bit of a recap of last week if we could. So as we're jumping into this, who can tell me what the difference between a dream and a why is? Can anyone remember we covered this last time a little bit? Anybody want to go out on a limb here? Anybody? You can type it. You can unmute yourself. You can speak up. Anybody can tell me what the difference between a dream and a why is?
Okay, I'll try. I did write notes, but I can't find them, so I'll try.
Sylvie,
A
thank you.
dream is
Awesome.
Oh, hi, I'm Sylviane. Okay,
Yes,
a
Sylvia.
dream is something that you are looking forward to, like it's something that you want to attain, and the why is the bridge that is going to take you there.
Yes, I love it. I love it. The bridge.
Okay.
Yes, good job. So the dream is the thing that we're looking forward to, the thing that we want to attain, the thing that we want to accomplish. Yes. And the why is that bridge or passion or purpose, right? If you want to change the world, give somebody a cause or a purpose and they'll change the world. So that why is that fuel that drives that. So Sylvia, nice job. Congratulations. And now let's
What do
go
I
to
win? What do I win? No.
what do you win? You know what? We should do something like that. I'll tell you what, I will get stuff for our next call so that I can give it away. Some swag or something, okay? We'll do it. We'll do it. Remind me, I'll do it. So, okay, so what's the difference between a dream and a goal? Now, anybody want to go out on that one? Your why comes from your height. I love that, Becky. Anybody want, what's the difference between a dream and a goal? Anyone?
Jessica,
Okay.
unmute yourself. I think you were talking.
Yeah, somebody unmuting. Goals will help you get to your dream. Good job, Becky. Love it. Anybody else?
I think for me, a goal, doesn't it have like a timeline or a date?
Yeah. So the dream is the thing that we want to accomplish, and just like what you were saying, it was, and I didn't catch who was saying that. Is that Pam that was saying it?
Pat.
Okay, thanks, Pam. Awesome. So the probably the best description that I've heard was when we talked about this last time. Dave Ramsey says that a goal is a dream with work boots on, right? Now we've got the thing that we want to accomplish. We talked about the dream and how important the dream was last week. And now we've got to put the work boots on and go put that dream into action and turn it into goals so that we can make that happen. So good job, Pam. You would have won something too if I had something, right? So next time, promise. So goal is the action. I love that. So let's jump in here really quickly. So I would be remiss if I did not share a Betty White quote. I don't know, you guys are all way too young to have grown up with Betty White, but I grew up with Betty White. Love her. She's such an amazing person. It would have been her 100th birthday today. You guys probably know that as well. Obviously, Martin Luther King Day as well. So, Martin Luther King Day and Betty White. So I love this quote though about Betty. So it says, I think everybody needs a passion, whether it's one passion or 100. That's what keeps life interesting. And one thing that I will tell you is that life isn't always going to go according to plan, right? Like scheduled these calls and Friday started feeling sick and Saturday I was like wiped out. Lo and behold, it's COVID, right? Like things happen, right? But there was a quote that lived on my grandmother's wall that ties into this Betty White quote that says that, the past is history, the future is a mystery, but the moment is a gift. That's why they call it the present, right? I can't tell you that every day goes according to plan, but I can tell you that each day that well lived makes every yesterday a dream of happiness, and waking up with that purpose and that passion is so important. And so I just, I wanted to start here tonight with each and every one of you is not only are you worth living and chasing your dreams and they're important, it's so important for the people that are in your life to see you chasing your passion and living your dreams and setting goals and going and making them happen. So I think it's so important that you have passion and you insert that passion into your life. Like we're all going to live beyond 100, right? With Monade and our incredible products and modern nature and all the beautiful things like Betty, right? She lived a beautiful, fulfilled life. But, she had a passion and she had multiple passions. And that's my prayer for each and every one of you. If you get nothing else out of our time together is that you guys find passion and purpose in your life, and we give you some structure and help you to set goals and put them in place so that you can go live your passion. So thank you guys so much. And yeah, she was definitely one of my favorite Golden Girls. And I can't even tell you, we watched over the Christmas break. It's one of our favorites Christmas movies. Like we've got, Best Friends and National Lampoons, right? That's on the list. But there's another one that's on the list, and I don't know what's on our Christmas list, but it's called The Proposal with Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock. Have you guys ever seen that show? Awesome, Becky. I'm glad that you get my humor, but she is fantastic in that show. I absolutely love it. So let's jump in here a little bit. A goal without a plan is only a dream, right? So we're going to take our dreams and we're going to put a plan behind it. We're going to put a goal. And so the whole purpose of tonight is to help you guys understand. Kyla, I love it. Taylor, my favorite. Yes. Tammy, great. Yes. Awesome. So everybody loves it. Yes. I love it. You guys are my kind of people. I love it. So why goals? So research shows that there's a direct correlation between setting goals and achieving success. So I want you guys to, and remember we talked about last week how success is your success is different than my success, and everybody has a different level or different determination of what success is and what that means, right? But I will tell you, and research will show this, so don't have to, it's not a theory, it's not a guess, right? Is that the more correlation between setting our goals and achieving success is higher when we actually set goals. So hopefully you guys took the time this past week to write down your dreams and understand what your dreams are. Now we're going to talk about how do we set goals to achieve those dreams. So properly setting goals will also trigger new behaviors that help you focus on what's important to you. See, that's the beautiful thing, right? So we can have a dream and we can have a righteous dream, and we can, if we achieve that dream, everything's going to be amazing and the world's going to change and we're going to have world peace and solve world hunger and everything's going to go away, right? But sometimes when we don't set goals to our dreams, we don't create the new behaviors that are needed in order for us to change. And we talked about a lot of that life is constantly changing, and we're either adapting and growing or we're digressing. The reality is you can't stay still. You can't stay with the same level of skill set today and hope that like in the future that things are going to be the same relevant. Like we have to be growing, right? It's just like technology is ever evolving. A lot of things that I'm going to be sharing tonight is out of this book. Change Anything. It's the science of personal success. It's written by several researchers, Carrie Patterson, Joseph Grenning, David Maxwell, Ron McMillan, also true, but it's the science, the Change Anything, the science of personal success. So great book. If you guys are reading, I do think it's on Audible as well. If you guys want, in there was a quote in here though, that I was going to share tonight. Maybe if I can find it again. Okay. So here it is right here. Okay. So it says one of the biggest barriers to personal success is not one's lack of moxie, willpower, but the mistaken belief that willpower is the key to change. And the reason why I share that here with this particular thing, what's the book again? It is Change Anything, and I'll write it again. Change Anything: The New Science of Personal Success. And it's really talking about different behaviors and behavioral change. And the reason why I shared that here is properly setting goals will help trigger new behaviors, right? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get you to trigger different behavior today that will align with your goals and your dreams, thus creating the action to help you find that success. Okay. So this is the reason why goals are so important. Now, remember, it's not just about setting the goals, it's about achieving them. Okay. So it's like New Year's resolutions. If you look at, if you're playing the stock market, a safe bet January 1st is investing in what? Gyms, right? Because everyone's always talking about weight loss, right? Like everyone wants to get healthier. Everyone wants to get fit. Everyone wants to go to the gym. And so everyone goes and buys a gym membership in January, right? And then by February, the gyms are empty again, right? Like everyone's New Year's resolutions just like went completely out the window, right? The first sign of, oh, it's cold outside, or I didn't have the right running shoes, or there's too many people at the gym, or there's this, right? Like the things didn't happen. And so one of the things that I wanted to put here, you see there's a bullet point that says streaks. Okay. No, I don't want you to set a goal to go streaking through your neighborhood. Okay. I don't want to be on the record for that. So if I get in trouble, don't tell Ray or Stuart I told you to set up streaks. Okay. But what I'm talking about is, how many of you guys, anybody Peloton users, anyone? I see a couple of hands going up, Peloton users. In there, they talk about streaks, right? Like they're trying to like create like action. Like, okay, I rode my bike, twice this week. I rode it 3 times this week. I'm doing this and getting in the behavior of getting into a streak, creating that behavioral change, right? And so one of the things that when we talk about, when we'll get into it here in a little bit more tonight, is big goals and little goals, is that the little goals is that streak. And we're going to try to create streaks so that, if my goal is that I want to build a block a month with Monat, right? Like that's a goal, because I know if I build a block a month, that's going to get me closer to my goal of SED, or that's going to get me close to my millionaire thing. Yes, Tammy, absolutely. Small wins, right? And so all of those things, as we start driving to that, is we want to create a pattern or streaks so that it's that small wins every day. So, and see, Tammy beat me ahead, right? So, excuse me. Remember, small wins, small wins, small wins. It's something that I've written down. I think I shared it with you guys last time. It's something I write. It's all over. Like if you go out in my garage, I'm a car guy. So if you go out in my garage on my toolbox, there's a little Post-it note that says small wins. in my bathroom, there's a little thing that says small wins. It's always like reminding me to focus on small wins. It's on my monitor, it's on my laptop for when I travel. It's like just what are the small wins that I'm going to accomplish today, right? And that's the bite-sized things. So short runs. Tammy, if you want to elaborate on that question, like the short runs.
Yeah, like I was thinking, yes, small wins, but in short runs, like if you're, going for a block, you're like focusing on that and maybe you work harder or really focus for like a 1 week or a 2 week or a 3 week stretch,
Yeah.
something like that. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, 100%. Yep, 100%. And it's the one of the things that we're going to see tonight, Tammy, as we start talking, is that there always has to be a reward. There always has to be gratification. There always has to be passion behind the goal of doing it, right? Because if it's something that we're not passionate about, if there's something that we're not rewarding, so when you start talking about those short runs, it's like this burst of like energy or focus to achieve that goal or that small goal or big goal. But then there has to be some sort of gratification on the back end, right? Peloton reinforces you with badges, right? And wins from that perspective. And so that would be the thing that I would say is like, okay, if I'm running to do that, if I'm doing that short run to get to that block, right? And I need, I've got one market partner and I've got 2 VIPs and I need 2 more VIPs by the end of the month and we're a week away, right? Maybe my favorite restaurant is Carrabba's, Italian food, right? That's my wife's. So I'm just throwing that one out there. So if I hit that, then I'm gonna reward myself by going to Carrabba's, to say that. And so that is kind of go along with what you're thinking, Tammy. Okay, perfect.
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you so much for speaking up too. So I was running out of air there. So thank you. Appreciate that. So when we get into why goals and defining your goals, so the goal has to be your vision for the future. So Ryan saying that Carrabba's isn't going with her consistency at the gym, but it is so amazing that chicken Maduro is like it's crack. It is. So so your goal has to be your vision for the future. Okay. So, and why do I say that is that your goals have to be your goals, just like your dreams have to be your dreams. Last week we were talking about putting your dreams to the test. Your dreams and your goals have to be your goals. So if I'm building a block, yes, we do this in Monat, the Monat family, and we're building this as an organization, as a team, as a family. We're all highlighting your success. But if building a block doesn't align with your vision, it's really hard to put the activity behind the goal to be able to make that a reality. So it has to start there with your vision. Goals are time sensitive as well. When we started last week, we were talking about dreams, and when I grow up, I'm going to be a ballerina, or I'm going to be an astronaut, or I'm going to be a veterinarian, or I'm going to, all of those different things. Like, well, when is it when we're going to grow up, right? I'm 102 years old and I don't know when I'm going to grow up, right? So there has to be a date in sight. There has to be that date in sight. So if I'm going to, again, using Monat, but this applies to every aspect of your life. If I'm going to be debt free, I want to be debt free by the year 2025. Okay, that's great, because the debt free aligns with my dream of having a non-worrisome lifestyle, right? Like I want to be able to get up on my own time. I don't want to be on anybody else's schedule. I don't want to do any of this. I want to be debt free, right? I want to remove all of that worry and fear out of that. I have to set a goal on that. If it's 2025, then that's there. I set the date, January 2025. There has to be a date set to it. Because hope is not a strategy, right? Like I hope that I'm going to be debt free by 2025. It's not a strategy. It's not going to happen, right? The most effective goals are time bound. And statistically proven, like, and we'll share some more statistics here in a little while, but you're 8 times more likely to accomplish a goal when you set a time on it you write it down, and you share it with a friend and create an accountability partner. So goals are time sensitive. So it's super important. The most effective goals are time bound. Yes, Tammy, hope or wishes are not strategies. So big goals, right? Big goals and little goals. And we have to be don't be afraid to set a goal that seems to stretch you. Okay. And that's the thing. Like I really believe that you set a goal and then you stretch to grow into it, right? And you set a goal and then you stretch to grow into it. So don't be afraid to set big goals that gets you closer to your dream, right? And then we back that up with setting smaller goals and dreams there. So let's go into why goals. Okay, research shows that there's a direct correlation between setting goals and achieving success. Did we just go through this already? Yep. Sorry, streaks. I don't know why that showed up again. Sorry. Okay, break your goals into big goals and little goals. Okay. Smaller short-term goals help you set your big goal. And that's kind of what Tammy was talking about just a little while ago, is like when you have these big goals and then you set little steps along the way or milestones along the way to create those small victories. Remember the quote that says that small struggles equal small victories, big struggles equal big victories, right? So there's that stretch, right? Small struggles, small victories, or big struggles, big victories. Same thing applies with your small goals and your little goals, or big goals and little goals. Is that by setting little goals, it's going to create those little daily activities, or creates that behavior that changes your habits so that you can start to get those small wins on a consistent basis. And then as you get those consistent wins, then it creates that momentum that's going to carry you to your big goals. So I love that aspect of it. That's oftentimes in the business world is called the flywheel concept, because these flywheels, again, car analogy, it's this big, huge wheel that has a gear on it that will turn a bunch of little gears. But that big wheel takes a lot of energy to get started. But once it gets started, that momentum carries itself and pushes the engine and makes power to the wheels, right? Which makes you go fast down the road. So the same thing with like small goals, is that small goals is pushing and creating that energy until you create that until you create that momentum, which helps you accomplish the bigger goals faster. So hopefully the car analogies weren't making you guys bored yet. So, but again, don't forget to reward yourself along the way, because that's super important. Because passion burns out. And you don't have to raise your hand if you don't want to, but I don't know if you guys have been with us 8 minutes or 8 years, or how long you've been with Monet, but sometimes it's hard to like lose sight of where you're at, right? Sometimes it's easy to get burned out or get frustrated because the ranks aren't coming fast enough, or the team that you've assembled or the team that you're working with, maybe they're not working in the same speed that you'd like them to be working with, right? And so it's important to stop and recognize accomplishments. It's also important to reward yourself along the way so that you continue to feel that passion. It's like, that's one of the things that I will tell you, like even as much as I've been around this industry and the success that I've been able to obtain and been blessed to have, and the people that I've been able to work with in my life, it's easy to get burnt out, and it's easy to lose sight of your goals and your dreams. And so finding that passion and finding ways to reward yourself will make sure that you have that opportunity to do that. And it's okay to stop and hit the pause button sometimes when you need to just take a day and collect yourself, as long as you don't quit. There's an analogy that I worked with this woman out of North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina. She used this analogy that she would, every morning, the ladies in her neighborhood, they would go running, right? They would go running. I love that, Ryan. I was not raised to quit. I love that. She was they would meet every morning at 4 a.m. Like, who wants to get up at 4 a.m. first of all? Actually before 4 a.m., but then to go running, right? And then as it starts to get colder outside, even less fun to get up, go running, and go out in the cold, right? And so so every morning, like, she would sit there and her alarm would go off and they would meet at the end of her driveway. And she would just be like, oh, I can't quit today. I'll quit tomorrow. And I'm going to tell them that I'm going to quit today so that tomorrow they don't show up at the end of my driveway to go running, right? And she started thinking about it. Like, she'd get out there and, she didn't want to tell them she was quitting right when she walked out there. So she'd start running and they'd start their morning chat and talk and blah, blah, blah. And pretty soon she got into her run and it wasn't that bad. And then when they finished, she had that sense of accomplishment that she was like, wow, that felt good. I'm not going to quit today. I'll quit tomorrow. And I love that analogy of, like, don't quit. You can quit tomorrow, but don't quit today. And because tomorrow never comes, right? Don't quit today. You can quit tomorrow, but don't quit today. Continue to do that. And that's the thing that I love that from that perspective. And yes, tomorrow never comes, right? It's always today. It's always the now. So again, your goals should feed your motivation to succeed. And that's the thing is we've talked about the dream, we talked about the why, and now we're talking about the goals. The goals should feed that motivation to succeed. If your goals are demotivating you or taking you away from your dreams, then we have to make sure that those align sufficiently. Okay, so now we're going to get into the 10 steps to successful goal setting. So these are 10 easy steps. So last time we took 10 questions to define figure out your dreams, right? To challenge your dreams, to make sure they're your dreams, put your dreams to the test. Now we're going to talk about 10 steps to successful goal setting. Before I do that, does anyone have any questions or any thoughts before we jump into the 10 steps of successful goal setting? Anybody? And I'm only seeing about half of your faces because I got up this other screen. So if there's something, if you guys want to come unmute or ask a question in the comments, don't hesitate to do so. Okay, we're all good? Okay. Perfect. Thanks, Sylvia. Okay, so have you guys ever heard the concept of SMART goals? So the first step in successful goal setting is have SMART goals. And this is actually an acronym, okay? The acronym is S is for specific, and I'll bring them all up and then we'll go through them. Measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound, okay? So the acronym SMART: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. And guys, I'm happy to share any of these slides with you guys. If you guys want to do these with your teams, if you want to go back through the slides, I'm more than happy to do that. My email, I'll just write it in the comments here as well. All right. So you guys have that. I'm happy to send you slides, book recommendations, whatever you guys want. Like, we're partners. Like, I need you guys to be successful. I've got big goals. I've got big dreams. And at the end of this exercise, I'll share all of that with you guys. But I need you guys to be successful. I want you guys to be successful because you guys deserve that. So anytime you guys need that. So specific. So goals have to be specific. So again, if my dream is to remove the worry out of my life, thus my goal is to become debt free. If I don't understand what's creating that worry or fear or doubt in my life, and I want it to be gone, it's really hard for me to set specific goals, right? So not a lot of explanation there. Like, they have to be specific. Measurable is also important because if we don't have a measurable goal, then we can't track our progress. That's the beautiful thing about the Minate compensation plan and the recognition roadmap and all of the incentives that they do, is that there's milestones, right? There's steps along the way. The reason why they do that is your success rate dramatically increases if you can measure your goals, right? And so, and obviously we want everybody to be successful. So as we're looking at this and we're creating in that, like make sure that your goals are measurable so that you can track that. And then the other way to know that they're measurable is that your small goals they are like little stepping stones, right? So if my goal is to create one block a month, right? And my small goal to tie that to that is to make 2 new contacts every single day, right? Or 5 days a week or 6 days a week, whatever that small goal is, then that there is the small goal, making 2 new contacts. The big goal being the block a month. And how do I take those contacts? And we'll get into that when we start talking about the action items or the activity, how to do that. But how do I take a contact or making new contacts into converting them into VIPs or market partners? So attainable. Now, the beautiful thing about this is, we're not in the 60s when they're saying, hey, we're going to put a man on the moon, right? For a lot of people, and the conspiracy theorists out there today still think it's impossible, right? But in the 60s, a lot of people thought there was no way we could have a man or woman on the moon, right? They thought that was just impossible, like that was unattainable. Well, now, we've got people that are putting people into space, almost monthly now. And soon it'll be weekly, like that we're putting people into orbit and bringing them back, right? And so we have to know that our goals are attainable, and then our goals have to be relevant to our dreams, right? Again, so if our goal is to be debt free, and and then our dreams to be debt free, and our goal over here is to have a Maserati in the garage, those 2 things can align, but it's like, which one comes first, right? is the paying the Maserati off in cash or is it, going into debt? Like they have to be relevant. So bad analogy, but I'll work on it. Again, car guy. So sorry, I'll work that off. And then the time bound, they all have to have time limits. They all have to be tied to it. There has to be a time limit to your goals. So, and the beautiful thing about this, okay, and I want you guys all to take a deep breath, okay? Can you do it with me? I won't, because I'll start coughing, but do a deep breath with me and start thinking about, okay, there's nobody that is going to judge you for hitting the reset button, okay? There's nobody that's gonna ridicule you, judge you, be upset with you, be mad at you tomorrow if you fail today, okay? All we care about is that you believed enough in yourself today that you got up and tried, okay? So there's no harm in doing it as long as you don't give up on yourself. That's the only reason I will judge you and make fun of you. I'm kidding. I would never do that. But never give up on yourself. Okay. Like SMART goals. This is important. So I'm rambling now. So I'll go to point 2. Okay. So, the second step, write them down. Don't just think them, ink them. You're 8 times more likely to achieve them when you write them down. So I don't think I need to go into a lot of explanation there. Write your goals down. Have them and again, like, where do I put them? Okay. When that goes to the third point, make your goals visible. So if you're, there we go. Okay. So I am a huge Wonder Woman fan. Totally a long story. I'll get into it later. But again, I'm not judging you guys, so you can't judge me. But so like I have dreams in here, right? Like I have goals and stuff in here. Like these are like 5-year goals and different things that I do in here. But notice it's on my bookshelf, right? And it's with the red books because it's red, and people say you have to be color coordinated. And I got judged one time, and it really hurt me, and now I'm socially awkward again. But my goals that I'm working for right now, they're on my bathroom wall. Like they're in my journal that I look at every day. They're in front of me constantly, right? Like I have them in my Apple Notes. They're on my phone. I'm constantly reviewing them. Your goals have to be visible. You have to be looking at them. They have to be something that you're constantly focusing on, because it's that thing that's there. Like our attention span, like just with technology today, it's getting smaller and smaller. And so having them visible and having them in front of us constantly is going to help us to and remind us to keep doing that. And I'll tell you what, it is, I love that, Jasmine, that you just continued, finished your new vision board. I love that. That is so important. Sticky notes, Becky. Like you would totally judge me if you saw all my sticky notes everywhere. Like I'm a sticky, I seriously should have bought stock in sticky notes. But so it's all there. So your goals have to be visible, and then break it down, right? We talked about that, big goals, little goals. So break it down. And then the next one, big goals, little goals. Okay, now we develop a plan. Okay, so we've got the goals, we've got the dream, we've got the why, we've got the dreams, we've got the goals. Now we've got to develop a plan of action. And that's where we get into the activity. And that's what we're going to talk about next week. But just a little bit of a highlight into it now is that now we got to say, okay, here's the goals. So if my goal is, you know, I want to be SED. I want to build a block a month. That's my goals to hit SED. And then I'm going to, you know, 2 contacts a day. Now I develop a plan. How am I going to create those contacts, right? What's the activity? You know, am I joining networking groups? Am I doing social posts? I'll tell you, one of the best questions you can ever ask somebody is, there's 2 motivators in this industry. Okay. There's fear of loss and hope to gain. And a lot of people, when we're recruiting, we lose sight of that, right? When we're trying to connect people to what it is they're looking for, we lose sight of that. And so fear of loss is a pretty big motivator. And hey, I'm running this huge multi-billion-dollar brand. This is you, right? Because you're the CEO of your Monat business. I'm running this multi-million-dollar brand, and I'm looking for somebody that is interested in X, Y, or Z. Like, what's your passion connected to that, right? Like, what is it? Like, I'm looking, you know, I love helping empower women. Like, that is something that is a huge motivator in my life, right? So I'm looking for some women who want to partner with me to help empower women, right? And so developing that plan is asking that question, you know, like, hey, do you know anybody that would be interested in? You're not interested? Okay, no problem. Do you know anybody who would be interested? And it's so amazing, like how many referrals you'll get from somebody that's willing to refer a friend or a family. I got to show you this really quickly. Okay, you can't get close to me. I'm standing on the strip. So this is my 8-year-old who forgot, but her Monat gear showed up today. So can you show them? You can't get those. They can see you. Like okay, here. Okay, see. She's got her little pants on. That looks cute. I love it.
Can I show you the other things?
No, because I'm on a call. So no, I love you though. You're gorgeous. You're not supposed to be ready anyway. 8-year-olds. Hey, love you. Sorry about that. It's cute.
You look great.
They all said you look cute. Excuse me. So develop a plan. So we got that one. Okay. And then develop what are the individual steps you need to achieve your goals. Okay. Now, step 6, take action. When in doubt, take action. Now, this is so funny. Like I'll talk to people all of the time, and they are. I love that, Jackson. You have a curly 9-year-old as well. So that outfit is so cute. She was super excited about it, as you could see. They were excited about when they got to order Monat swag. Lou blessed us with some swag for the kids, so they're all like trying to pick out some stuff for them, which is cute. So I'll find people and they'll say, Ryan, my business is stalled out, or my motivation is stalled out, or you know, hey, you know, things are just not working like they used to work anymore, and so on and so forth. 9 out of 10 times it'll fall into 3 categories. 1, they don't have a dream or anything that they're working towards. 2, they have no goals, which is the 2 things that we've started talking about tonight. Or 3, they're not taking action. And it's so easy. Like that is such an easy thing to do. So I don't know if you guys saw, Stuart posted the other day, and it was, I thought it was such a great post. He said that, um, you know, becoming successful is hard. Being poor is hard, right? Being rich is hard. Being poor is hard. Being successful is hard. Being unsuccessful is hard. Being overweight is hard. Being fit is hard. There's just all of these like yin and yangs, right? But they were all hard. And he said, at the end of the day, you have to choose your hard. And this is the thing, like when I'm coaching somebody or when we're getting into this, when we start talking about it, is that when you start to doubt yourself, that's when you should start taking action towards your goals or your dreams, because you'll fall into it. It's still going to be hard. Like you're going to be so hard on yourself. You're going to be your worst critic. You're going to be your worst judge. They're going to be, it's that, like you're going to feed that fear and that doubt in your head. And it's going to be so tough. Right. So when you're excited, that's also a time to take action. When you're motivated, when you're energy, take action. Okay. And then when you're in fear, take action, right? Massive action solves everything. When you're excited, when you're in fear, when you have doubt, when you're happy, when you're, you've got some momentum, when you don't have momentum, the one thing that will always help self-correct and get you back on track with your goals is taking action. I know it's number 6 on the list, but it is such an important part to successful goal setting. And yeah, you're absolutely right, Kathy. You get to choose your hard. So I love that. And then keep perspective. Sometimes it's easy to get discouraged or off track or frustrated if things are not according to plan. Or, hey, I set a plan to hit MMB by a certain time and I didn't hit it by then, right? So I get frustrated by that. But keep perspective. It's your plan, okay? It's easy in this business to always compare ourselves to somebody else. Somebody else said SCD in 4 months. I don't know if that ever happened. I'm just throwing that out there. It may take you 4 years. It may take you 10 years. That might not be your goal or your dream, right? But always keep things into perspective. And as long as you keep things into perspective that you're growing and getting closer, guess what? It's your race and you're at least moving forward. You haven't quit, you haven't given up, and you're still moving forward. Okay. So always keep perspective. I love that. And then 8, identify potential obstacles. Okay. So we're always going to identify potential obstacles. Now, this is important. This is in the goal setting aspect of it. So this is when we're setting our goals up to begin with. Let's be real, right? There's going to be obstacles. There's always going to be that crazy uncle that did Amway selling soap on a rope that's going to tell you, I did one of those pyramid things and it didn't work, right? Only the people at the top ever make money. Nobody does that really. Like nobody legit actually does that. When in fact, 1 out of every 4 homes in America actually purchases a product from a home-based business or a direct sales network marketing business. 1 out of every 4 homes in America. Okay. It was $186 billion in total revenue in 2021. Okay. I could go on and sharing statistics about our industry and then overlap those statistics with why Monat is the best. But there's going to be obstacles. There's always going to be an obstacle. It may be time, right? Like, you're trying to figure out the differences between work-life balance and how do I do that? Let's be realistic. If I'm saying that I'm going to dedicate 30 hours a week in my Monat business or chasing my goals or my dreams or doing whatever, but I only have 10 hours, like I can't set a goal for 30 when I know that I only have 10, right? Start with 10, maybe eventually you can get to 30. But start with what you got. Be realistic with your goals and obstacles. And then identifying the obstacle up front will also make them less intimidating because you knew that obstacle was coming. You knew that it was coming at you. You knew that was going to happen. So you had an opportunity to be able to hit that before. And then number 9 is be accountable, not only to yourself, but to your accountability partner. We talked about that earlier, right? Like you got to have an accountability partner. That could be your significant other, that could be your upline, that could be your crossline, that could be your brother, your sister, your best friend, that could be, you know, somebody that cares enough about you to support you and lift you up when you need it, but also somebody that's going to hold your feet to the fire when it's there, you know. So Tammy, if we have time at the end of this, I'll go through some of the industry stats with you guys and share them with you. It's fun. And then if you guys want them, just shoot me an email and I'll send you the stat deck as well. But we got to be accountable. We got to show up. It's so important. And then, you know, find an accountability partner and then reflect and adjust. Now, this is the 10th and final step. And the reason why this one is significant is that, like, okay, so I want to be debt free by 2025. We know what that means. We've set the goals. We're doing the activity. We're doing all of the different things. Excuse me. And we get to that certain point where 2025 doesn't look like it's realistic. Don't get frustrated, right? Like we're just going to reflect, adjust. Either we're going to adjust our activity or we're going to adjust the timeline, but we're not going to change the goal, right? Because the goal aligns with our dreams. We talked about that in the first night that we talked. Do not go back and change the goals or the dreams, okay? So reflect and adjust. And then right here, we go to this quote. And the Williams sisters, right? They just had a movie come out. I haven't watched it with Will Smith yet, but you can't. I remember the very first time I got to watch them play was actually in Wimbledon. I got to watch them play. Not a huge tennis fan, but just to say that I got to go to Wimbledon and got to see the Williams sisters play. That was awesome. Bucket list, right? But it says, I don't focus on what I'm up against. I focus on my goals and I ignore the rest. And that's the one thing that I really wanted to end on tonight is that, is that it's like, there's always going to be, you know, adversity, you know, even in the Bible, you know, it's getting biblical. It says, you know, fear knocked at the door, faith answered, and no one was there. The reality is that faith and fear cannot exist on the same doorstep at the same time. They don't exist at the same time. And I love that because I can have that fear, right? Like that's going to happen. That's just life. That's just human nature. But if I have faith in myself, I have faith in my ability, I have faith in my dreams, I have faith in my goals, I have faith in the accountability partners, I have faith in the people that are around me, then I can ignore all of the other noise and I can do this and make it happen. And that's really what I would say to each and every one of you is that at the end of this is that, you know, we know that we're all worthy of living our goals and dreams. We all know that we have the ability to attain that. We all know that we're meant to have that, right? The only person that is holding you back is you, right? And I know that sometimes that is super frustrating to hear that. But the only difference, there's one word that defines the difference between a successful person and an unsuccessful person. Does anyone know what that one word is by chance? Anyone? Sylvia, you're on mute.
I just said, oh boy.
Belief. I love that, Jacqueline. Oh boy. I love that one as well. Fear. Okay. All good ones. The only difference between a successful person and an unsuccessful person is choice. So I'm going to ask you guys tonight. We know about dreams last week. Tonight we're setting goals. Make the choice and commitment to yourself that you're going to be successful. Make that choice, like write it down, document it. On January 17th, 2021 at 8:20 p.m. Central Time, like I'm making a choice, a commitment to myself that I'm going to be successful because I'm worth it. And so does anyone have any questions before? And I will pull up that stat deck really quickly for you guys and run through it. And then if you guys want, I'll email it to you as well so that you have it. Sorry, let me see if I can find that. But go ahead, if you guys want to go ahead and unmute and ask any questions, I'm happy to pull that up. Put a reminder, pop up every day. Ryan, you got such great suggestions. Yes, pop up every day at the same time that says what your choice is today. I love that. That's such a great one. Using technology, right? That's popping up little reminders. I love that. Let's see. Anybody else? I will be successful. I love that, Kathy. Anyone else have any thoughts or questions? Sorry, I'm just sorting through these PowerPoints. Sorry. I was supposed to be in Miami this coming week, and they had to change a bunch of meetings for me. Ray and Stuart are so nice. But we're doing all these strategy, like the strategy decks for like all of the different markets and some of the new markets that are coming up. So it's there's a lot going on right now. So I've got like 15 PowerPoints up, so I apologize. Let's see, here we go.
I have a question about the wheel that you were talking about, like the small wheel and the big wheel. Is there, did you get that? Yeah. Do you have a book? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's more of a, it's more
Probably
of a-
reading my mind. 'Cause you're
It's more of a
very-
business book. It's actually, I call it my business Bible. Actually, it's a book by Jim Collins. He's written several books. This one's Good to Great. And he actually talks about it in this one. It's called the flywheel concept. There's a hedgehog, the flywheel. There's a bunch of different concepts in here in that one. But it's why some companies make the leap and others don't. And it's actually, it's very, he's a researcher out of Colorado. And, so a lot of this stuff is statistically based, but it shows like how companies went from good to great and how some companies went from good to non-existent. Blockbuster, right, for example, just talks about some of the things in there and how companies evolve and how people should evolve. But it's a great book, but it's more business focused than it is personal development. I do recommend it. If you love to read and digest, it's a fantastic book. Okay, and then I will pull this up really quickly for you guys, and then we'll go through them. Kind of fun. Let's see here. And then again, if you guys want this deck, I will be more than happy to share it with you. Can you guys tell me if the screen is big or if you guys got the small squares? You guys got the small squares or the big squares?
I see the small squares with another square on the left.
Okay,
It says next slide, click add notes.
Okay, let me do this really quickly.
Use slideshow maybe on the left.
Yeah, let's see here. Oh, sorry. Let me hit stop share. Let's do this. How about now?
Yeah, it's all good now. It's a big screen. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So here's some industry stats. This is from 2020. We don't have 2021. So just as an FYI, there's thousands and thousands of direct sales network marketing companies. The company that my mom was with is over 50 years old. And I bet if I said it, most of you would never even hear of it before. Some companies are only in Asia. Some companies are only in Europe. Some companies are global brands, so on and so forth. But this is I believe that there's a little over 3,000 companies around the world that share information to get these statistics. So why direct sales? 77% of Americans. I can get global statistics if you guys want. I made this more specific to the US. So 77% of Americans are interested in flexible entrepreneurial income or earning opportunities. With some of them being higher, the younger generations, 91% of them Gen Zers, 88% of the millennials are interested in entrepreneurial, not necessarily wanting to go get an 8-to-5 job. So why direct sales? When we start looking at the gig economy, the Ubers, the Airbnbs, the different things that are out there, why does direct sales? Most of the time it's a much smaller barrier to entry to get in. And then the biggest one is we have residual income. So we just kind of talked about that, but I'll get into more statistics. So U.S. consumers continue to remain positive about direct selling, with the perception toward direct selling remaining stable at about 80% over the last 10 years. Consumers find following most appealing about direct selling channel that 69% people say supporting a small business. They like that. And so these statistics, I'd like you guys to start using them to your advantage, right? People supporting your small business. 67% love the personalized service that direct sellers provide. You know, it's a relationship business. And so I'd much rather buy hair care from somebody that I know, love, and trust than off the shelf at Walmart, right? And so here's some other ones for you. So 78% of global sales are generated by the top 10 countries. So this kind of shows you a little bit. United States is number one in direct sales around the world, followed by China, Germany, Korea, Japan, Brazil, Malaysia, Mexico, France, and Taiwan. So those are the top 10 direct sales companies. And so you can see why global expansion is really fun for us at Monade, and why I want you guys excited about those founder shares. And then we get into direct retail sales, and I'm going through these kind of fast because you guys are probably tired of listening to me talk. But you can kind of see the direct sales. The past, you can see 2019, it surged. 2020 for most companies, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, it was just so easy for us on Monade at 2020. A lot of companies struggled. A lot of companies went out of business in 2020. But Monade thrived, and that says a lot about our product line and our culture and the leadership and all of you guys and Rainy Stewart and the team. But we're roughly between 35 and 40 billion here in the US. 40.1 is what I said, 13.9% growth in 2020. And then we see in the US, there's an average of about 16.7 million people are involved in direct sales, meaning that they are not just purchasing from, but they are a rep that are either that are selling the products or selling and recruiting people. 75% of our demographic in direct sales is women, 25% men, obviously, right? 75 from 100. But then you look at the demographic here. So you've got it's about 17% between the ages of 25 and 34. I know all of you guys are younger than 25 on this call, so you guys meet that other age group. But 25% between 35 and 44, 24% at 45 to 54, 18% at 55 to 64, and 10% at 65 plus. And I oftentimes get people asking me like, well, why would people why does that number drop so much at 65 plus? And I think that a big part of it is that, and that number will grow dramatically over time. Like my parents and grandparents, they had these things called pensions and retirement funds and different things like that, right? And so a lot of them have they work towards that all their life. It used to be that somebody would change jobs 1 to 3 times in their working career. And there was a statistic that came out just last year that said that the average person will change careers 3 to 4 times, not just jobs, but careers 3 to 4 times in their working lifetime. And that wasn't really existing in that baby boomer age. And so that's something that's there. Somebody just raised their hand. Was that you, Sylvia?
Yes. Why? So it says full-time 0.9, and then part-time is the rest, 6.9. How do you explain that to someone and say, well, if I'm going into direct sales or in this industry, why are there so many people that are just part-time and not? I would think that they would think that they're not succeeding in getting into full-time. You know what I mean? Like being able to do your job or something.
Yeah. So it's twofold. One is a lot of people you could say don't hit that level of success. But I don't believe that. I think that 0.9 million represents the people that have wanted to and want to do that. I think that 6.8 million, a lot of those people are representative of the people that the most people get stuck on that first, like if we're playing Monopoly, that first square of I only want to earn $300 to $500 a month, and then they hit that goal within the direct sales world, and then that's it for them. That was their goal. That was what they wanted to do. A lot of times when we start talking to people like, hey, this can be your full-time income, this can be your career, like your full-time career, you could fire your boss and do all of the wonderful things that you want to do. The reality is that they can't connect that. That's just so far out of their realm of perspective. And so it's that building block. And so really, that's the first thing I would say. The second thing is that I would say our industry as a whole, okay, has failed the majority of the people. And the reason for that is I think that they put too much of a focus on trying to move a product or a service. And they don't put enough focus on the person. And that's why I personally have chose Monat. This is the reason why I want to be here at Monat, is because I truly believe that Monat cares about the person. And so I think that like this again is across the board. I think there's so many people that get lost on that square one on Monopoly because, you know, it was just hype, smoke and mirrors to get somebody in the door. Can you fog a mirror? Do you have a credit card? Get in my business. Let's do it. And that's what's really hurt, I think, our industry as a whole. So probably longer answer than you wanted, but there you go.
No, it's an excellent answer, and thank you. Makes sense.
Yeah. And you're right, Kim, there's no systems, and they don't know what to do, right? So there. I can promise you, and I'll make this promise to anybody. I can promise you success here at Monat. I promise you that I can help you find your success. I promise Ray, Stuart, the team, everybody that's here will help you find your success at Monat. I can't promise you a time frame on it, but I can promise you success. As long as you keep showing up and we keep plugging in and we start doing the activity and we do the work, I promise you success. I can't promise you success if you quit, right? And that's the part here. And I believe that with every fiber of my being, I can promise you success. And that's where I want, and Ray and Stuart, that's their vision of Monat. When we start talking about this relaunch of Monat and getting us into the Monat 2.0 and that next phase, it's not just a tagline. It's like, how do you go from, you know, they went from a startup to a small sized company, a small sized company to a medium sized company. And now we're on that verge of going from a medium sized company to a large company, right? And how do you make that shift in doing that? And that's what that excites me so much about what we're doing here at Monat. So, and then here, why Monat? Products are made in the US. We're debt free, over $1 billion in commissions paid out. So that we can prove the concept works. Incredible leadership. I mean, just look around the call tonight at each and every one of you. Like, we've got the best leaders in the industry, best in class culture, 30-day money back guarantee on the products, clinically proven products that actually work, and then a proven track record. Like, we've got all of the things there that are aligned to really help make Monat change our industry. And I promise you that our industry has to do that. So, and then just got some fun quotes. So anyway, so I'm happy to share any of those with you guys. So if you guys want those, just go ahead and send me an email and I'll send those to you as well. So, so any other thoughts or questions? Next week, we're going to talk into, so goals lead to dreams, dreams lead to action, and then actions lead to results. So next week, we're going to combine action and results and how to measure those and talk about those things. But does anyone have any questions or thoughts or anything else tonight?
Gosh, Ryan, my mind is like, I absolutely appreciate, I know all of us appreciate everything that you are pouring into us. This is so helpful. Those statistics, all those stats, like, it got me so fired up. It's easy to be someone that's my age and look at, look at social media, right? And see all the young girls out there that are influencers or young women. But those stats were so exciting. I'm like, woo, I'm up there. Like I'm up there in the group that's, coming into direct sales. And that's empowering is what that is. That's exciting. So I just appreciate you. And I know we all do.
Oh, well, I appreciate you guys, and thank you guys so much for showing up again this week. I really do believe that there's never been a better time to be a part of this company. And again, we can talk about Ray and Stuart and the products, comp plan and timing and all of that. But at the end of the day, it's because of each and every one of you. There would be no company if it wasn't for you guys. So I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys. And thank you for putting up with me tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you.
For pouring into us. And if anyone doesn't have anything else, then I say let's wrap this up. And we are looking forward to next week.
Thank you guys. Love you guys. God bless you. Have a great week.
Ryan. Appreciate
Talk to you guys soon. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.